equal to some other value. So if I give -3, then I think this will not be executed. If you have to say else print let's say print number is, right? Okay, print is not different. Okay, there is an error here. So for time being, so this will not be executed. So whether the program has been written in such a way that it will verify for X if it is a positive single digit number. If I want to reduce, see here, there are two conditions which has been checked. If 0 less than X and if X less than 10. So if you want to reduce or simplify the nested conditions, so you can use logical operators quite oftenly, which provide a way to simplify nested condition statements. For example, we can write the same code here. Rather than writing it in two different statements or sentences, I'll copy down this code. See here, I will place it with a logical operator called and then say if 0 less than X and X less than 10, print X is positive single digit number. So I'm going to use the logical operator here called AND instead of two nested conditions. This is how I can simplify. If you get a question like how do you simplify, or do you simplify the nested conditions, use logical operators such as and, or, not, and so on. So this is how you can simplify your nested conditions. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So let us take another set of examples here. So this is a very popular program in video syllabus. So they will ask you to write a program to convert a Fahrenheit temperature to a Celsius temperature. Okay, to convert a Fahrenheit temperature to a Celsius temperature. And program is like this. So you are prompting user to give some input, enter Fahrenheit temperature. If you just run this program, so it is simply prompting user to give some value. See here, you are giving some value, correct? And then this is saved as INP. You can print and see what was there in INP. See here, if I say 32 degree, so it will be printed as INP. Print INP is nothing but 32. If I want to see the type, what type of data it is, so you could be surprised to see it is a string type, correct? But you want what? You need a value. Yes or no? You need a value to convert a temperature in Fahrenheit to Celsius. So what I'm going to do, rather I can say float of INP here only, because I want to change the data type from string to float. Now you check the value, you will see now this INP variable belongs to the type float. Earlier, whatever user gives an input will be of string type, But I want to write a program which converts Fahrenheit into Celsius. So I am going to use this program, use this equation, the expression Fahrenheit minus 32 into 5 divided by 9, which will convert this into a Fahrenheit, into a degree Celsius. So here also you could see the two different types of results. So if I give 36.
Sir, but there's no value in FAHR variable.
FAHR, I will just try to assign this as FAHR instead of INP. R. Okay, now you could see I get the Celsius values as 2.22. This is a program to convert Fahrenheit into degree. But sometimes, you know what happens, while passing, if you execute this code, if I give invalid input, what happens? Let us just see. If I give some invalid input, say I give ASD. So what is the error? Can you see this error? What is this error? Hello? Why am I getting this error?
Because we want to give input as float value, but we have given string value.
Good, yeah. Let me just try to simplify this program here, because sometimes you may not be able to yeah. So now if I run this program and if I give some value here, it would run fine. Right? Because this input is of float type. This FH Fahrenheit variable is expecting the floating point value. Correct? Not the string. Suppose if I give the string like this, STRIND, some value, which is not a real number. So then you could see here, could not convert string to float. I cannot convert the string value to float value. And here the float values are expected here to carry out further computations, right? So now, but see here, the program is 4 lines, but I got an error of some 5 to 6 lines. So this is weird. So this is not acceptable. I feel disheartened. I feel very depressed whenever I see these kind of errors. So there are some conditional execution structures, right, which can handle these types of expected or unexpected errors. And you can also say, user, boss, you are giving a wrong input value, which is not acceptable by my program. Kindly give a proper value using try and accept. Using try and accept functions. Correct? Now understand this program. I have carried the same program here, but I have placed the program which need to be executed here inside this cell, which comes after try. Okay. Let me just try to rearrange this. Okay. Yeah. Now, if I try to give a wrong input, say str, there are no errors being generated. Rather, if this is failed, there are no errors. Due to these statements, the error was generated in my previous program. So what I do, I place these statements under try. Okay, this is always true. Try colon, this is always true. And this will be executed. And if this fails, it will go to accept. So whatever statement you are going to write under accept will be executed. or will be implemented. Correct? So whatever statements, if this fails, if there is an error here, so this will be executed. So we can use try and except. Why do we use try and except? It's a conditional execution structure which are built in Python to handle expected or unexpected errors. And I can say using try and except handle exceptions. So this will handle what? Exceptions. Exceptions, or can we say errors most of the time. Okay. Now if I give a proper input, you will get a proper value or a converted value. But what happens here in this case, if I give some other value which is not intended, so it will rather instruct user, please enter a number here. You can also have some other instructions here. Okay. Sometimes what happens when if I'm trying to read an image or something like that. Okay. So I'll just okay, that I'll teach you in the next class. So most of the times what happens when I'm trying to read an image. Okay. When I read an image, usually the image will be of color images. Okay, will be a color image of three matrices. Three matrices of R, G, and B.
It has a lag.
Hello? Yeah, if I read an image of three matrices, so the color image will be of three matrices, whereas a gray image will be of one matrix. Okay, will be of one matrix. Sometimes what happens when I am trying to read a series of images from the database, understand, when I am trying to read images, say around 100 images, and I have written a program which converts a color image, okay, understand, color image into a gray image, correct? I have written a program which converts a color image into a gray image. So what happens if the gray image has been read? See here, the color image dimension is 3, whereas the gray image matrix is 1. What happens if I read a gray image and it's still trying to convert it into a gray image? So in these situations, what I do, I place this in try if it is a color image, convert it to gray image, except leave it as it is, because it's a gray image. Did you understand? So in some applications like image applications, if I am reading images, 100 images, and if I am trying to convert a color image into a gray image, color image dimension is 3 matrices, and a gray image matrix dimension is 1 matrix. And here in this situation, I have written some lines here which converts color to gray. This expects a 3-dimensional input or 3 matrices. But what if the image, given image itself is a 1-dimensional image? So this will cause an error. This will create an error. Why? Because it's already a gray image. So it will go to the next statement or go to the next condition or raise an exception saying that leave it as it is because it is a gray image. Okay. Any doubt? So it was just an application where you can use this try and exception. Let me just put it in the markdown, and this was just an example. Guys, what is visible on your screen? Hello?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
What?
example image, arrow color.
Okay. Okay, good. So now I'll go to the next example, a short circuiting using Boolean expressions. Short circuiting.
Sir, you are muted.
Now, okay, fine.
Yes, sir, now it's fine.
Fine. So the next topic is short circuiting using Boolean expressions. Sometimes what happens, the evaluation of a logical expression stops because the overall value is already known. Sometimes, if the overall value is already known, then you don't have to worry about solving or trying to execute the other couple of statements. Suppose if I make x, if I assign a value 6 to a variable x and y equals to 2, okay, and if I want to verify whether x greater than equal to 2, is it greater than equal to 2? And x divided by y is greater than 2. Which of the conditions are true here? Both, right? Both the conditions are true. I still get true, right? Because both the conditions are true. Let me just write another program with the same equation. See, I'll retain the same expression, but I'll change the values for x and y. If I say x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0, so what might be the result? Can anybody tell what is the result? Yes, fast.
False.
Yeah, it is false. Suppose, see, because already the overall value is known, let me make you people understand in another way. Here, if I want to declare x is equal to 6 and y is equal to 0, and I say x by y, what happens to this now?
Error, sir.
Error. Why?
Divide by 0.
Yeah, you'll get a 0 division error. You'll get what? 0 division error. What if I make this as true? What if I make this as true? Still I get this as an error, right?
Yes, sir.
See, I can use XOR operation, X or Y. Let me make it a little bit clear here, X or Y. So if X is false, then if X is false, either of these conditions should be true in order to execute other statements, which I am going to write it here. Say if I have written some statements here, okay. If X or Y, either of these two statements are true, is it okay? if either of these two, if x is true or y is true, either of these two are true. If x is true, it will not verify with y. Hello?
Yes, sir.
What about if I replace this by AND?
False, sir. Both should be true.
Yeah, correct. You need to be true with x and y both. Otherwise, these statements will not get executed. Okay. If x is false, then x else y. If x is false, then y else x in case of OR. So I will be using this short circuiting operations when you can extend this. You can also extend this for multiple statements. X is equal to 1, y is equal to 0, and then I can write x greater than 2 and y not equal to 0 and x by y greater than 2. So what happens to this equation?
False.
False.
You will get false. So if I try to rewrite this equation, if I just change this to 6, x is equal to 6, y is equal to 0, with the same equation, what will be the answer?
False.
Again, it is false. Correct?
Yes, sir.
But what if I try to bring this here? If I take this away, if I get this here, x by 2 it will check, it is true, and x by y greater than 2, you'll get
Error.
0 division error. Huh? You'll get error, right?
Yes, sir.
Though this is true, but here it failed. Correct? Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So in simple, if you are using AND, you need to make sure x and y both are true, x and y both are true to execute these statements. If you are using x or y, either of these statements, either x or y should be true to execute these statements. So I use short circuit. Sometimes I need not to check for another value. So just check with only one value and just try to execute other statements. Or I want to check with all the values, okay? And then go with the other statements for execution. So going to the next topic. So here I'll be using, we'll be discussing about objects and functions. Before I take up this module, I would like to say Python has many modules that provides most of familiar functions. It might be related to artificial intelligence, neural network, machine learning, deep learning, statistics, signal processing, image, video, you name it, right? Health, science, education, very recently COVID data set. So there are so many things that you can use already built-in functions, which is already there, which is already built in. Before you use those modules, I call it as modules and functions. Okay, so my topic is modules and functions. There are already many functions which are available before we use the module, we have to import it. Suppose if I want to use the functions, mathematical functions, so you have to import the math module first. I use import command. What command I use? I use import, M-A-T-H, import math. So once I say import math, so the functions related to the library called math. Okay. Now, after importing math, how do I read the function? See here, I'm just trying to write a skeleton of math, how it looks. It is a class, math, okay, class called math. Inside math, I will have the value for pi, I will have the value for log to the base 10, I will have natural log. There are so many functions inside this math, right? It is just like in SJBIT, I have electronics department, CSC department, ISC department, and so on. This class is nothing but what? A department, say for example. And I have CSE, I have ECE, I have ISC. This is just like an analogous to this. Okay. So now if I want to read the ISC department, so what I need to do? I need to import department first. After importing department, I have to read the ISC block by using dot notation. See here, DPT dot ISC. Again in ISC, suppose again in ISC, I have fourth semester or okay, fourth sem, A section, fourth sem, B section, fourth sem, C section. Let me represent it as ABC. A, B, and C. Am I clear? Guys, you may just interrupt me if you don't understand. So now if I want to read the A section student, or if I want to read the A section, so DPT, import DPT, DPT dot ISC dot 4A. Suppose if I want to read EC fellow, EC 6th semester, okay, let us take our own department example, 6A, 6B, and I have 4A, 4B also, right? 4A and 4B, sorry, 8A, 8B. And I want to read a particular person from B section, say for example. I want to read 1JB, 18 EC, say, I'm just randomly taking the USN, just don't take it personally, 78, okay. So now, if I want to read this function, this of course it's a function, and it might be a person also. So just remember, I have to import department, yeah, I've done it. I have imported department, department.ece, right? Department.ece, department.ece, dot 6b, dot 6b, dot this function. See, this is how the dot notations are used. Is it okay? And now I'll just try to replace this by a couple of actual functions inside the MATLAB, or sorry, in Python. So how do I call the methods, or how do I call the functions from a library? Any doubt, guys, here? I use just dot notations, that's it. Before using dot notation, I would like to import that entire package or module. Yes, fast. Do we have any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So what I do, I import the module called math. Import math. So what happens if I import math? So all the functions related to the math will be imported. Now I say math.py. I say math.py. You could see the value 3.14 and so on. I can assign it. X is equal to math.py. Then this result will be suppressed, and I could say print x. Print x. Now you can see the value is printed. Okay. So likewise, I can also use other functions. So use dot notation in Python to draw functions from object modules. Okay. So I have another example before I go to this. So stop sharing this. I'll switch to another screen where I have some examples for of some image processing. Okay. Can you see the basics Jupyter notebook?
Yes, sir.
Yes, come on fast. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the third line?
Hashtag load the image comment.
Okay, fourth. So here I am trying to read an image. See here, what is that you need to observe? You need to observe these. Can you observe these two lines? From PIL, import image. So from PIL library, this is Python image library, I will import a method called image. It's just like from SJBIT, I imported ISC department or EC department. You may tell like why sir is always taking ISC department. From SJBIT, I have imported EC. Okay, from matplotlib, I have imported pyplot. So all these are just the functions. So now see here, image.open, ece.open, some name, say for example, some student name. Okay, so image.open, image is a function, .open is a dot notation which has been used. So this will simply load the image by its name. I have an image called opera.house. It's a very popular house in Sydney. Okay, so operahouse.jpg is a file name, and I use image.open to load the image into a variable called image. Correct? How did I get to load this image? See here, I have imported a couple of functions or the modules. These are some specific modules which are used to operate or used to process image. And here, can you see this image.format? See, this is a data now. What is this? This is a data. This represents the entire operahouse.jpg. And I want to know the format of this. Simply say image.format. I want to know the mode of this. Simply say image.mode. I want to know the size of this image. Simply say image.size. See here, I am using again dot size on the data. What is image here? Image is a data. Okay. What is image here? See here, the functions are directly operated on the data. Correct? And you could see the result. You could see the result here. Yeah, it's taking some time. Maybe I have switched from the other. It's taking some time. Right? It's taking this much amount of time. So it was there actually. Let us show the same result. Okay, can you see this result now? See here the format. It has printed the image format. The format is JPEG. Mode, it's an RGB mode. That means it's a color image. And the size of that image is 640 cross 360. This was the image. This is 640. These are columns. 360. It's a row. Okay. Now, can I say this as a tuple? Can I say this as a row and column values? How did you read the image now? So I have used a couple of functions or the library modules like PIL. PIL is huge, just like VTU. It's huge. Inside VTU, you have so many colleges. You have to import first. You have from VTU, you have to import SJBIT. Something like that. If you are trying to read some data base of a student in SJBIT, you have to read first, import the entire file of VTU. Then from VTU, you import SJBIT. Then you try to operate it on SJBIT. Likewise, here PIL is the whole sort of library. Like you have so many functions, so many methods inside it. From this, you have imported image, and then from matplotlib, I have imported pyplot. Why? Because I am using it to plot. Correct? I am using it to plot. See here, pyplot.imShow image. Pyplot.show. So I'll be using this plot commands to show whatever the image has been read here. So this is one interesting application where you can use different set of functions in in Python, and just try to experiment different methods and functions and modules and objects. There are so many in Python.
Sir, your screen is not visible.
I'm not shared yet. I'll be sharing this now. So there are so many built-in functions, and one second, let me share the window. Basics, my classwork. I'll just switch back to my classwork again. So I have other built-in functions. Say, is print a built-in function? I'm asking you a question. Is print a built-in function?
Yes.
Be louder. Yes. And then say type of 32. So if I say type of 32, what would be the answer? What is the answer for this function? This is a built-in function type. 32 is an integer value. You will get integer. int. If I say 32.0, you will get float. If I put it in strings, okay? If I put it in string, so you'll get string. So inside string, I can place anything. It would be a character now. Okay? So it would be a string. So this type is a function. Understand? Type is a function. So usually, if I can represent this, so this is a function. And what is this? This is an argument. Argument. Sometime arguments. Okay, so this looks like a function, and this is an argument. So this is syntax. So these are built-in functions. I have many such built-in functions. Say, for example, if I want to say max of, max is a built-in function. See, whenever you have a color indications, like if it is turning green or some other colors, it is a built-in function. Max of. Say if I give a string, hello world. So now what would be the answer? What is the answer for this? Max of hello world. It will give the largest character in the string. So W was the largest character. I think make it small here, so you could get W. So the first, it is case sensitive, and it would take the small characters into the consideration in order to find the largest character in the string. If I want to find the lowest character, I can simply replace it by MIN. So what is the answer?
E, sir.
Two. Space. Here, space is the lowest character. Don't forget, minimum function shows the smallest character, that is space. Suppose if I want len, length of the characters, what is the length? 5 characters plus 5 characters, 10 plus 1 space. So len is the function, okay, built-in function which gives the length. If I try to reduce this, so you get 10. So space is another character. Is it okay? So now len is a function. Len is function, and this string is an argument, okay, or I could say input. String or input is an argument. So this is called, usually this is called as an input argument to any function. This is a common language used in any programming languages. Okay. Sometimes I use type conversions. These functions can be used as a type conversions. This is very interesting. int of 3.2. See here I have given a floating point value as an input argument to the function int, and it gets converted to an integer value. Correct? So this functions has got a capacity to convert the types of the values. Very interesting. So if I use float, okay, float, and give an integer value, it will convert it into 32.0, a floating point value. Suppose I take str. Str is what? Str is a function which converts string, which converts any input argument given inside this to a string. Correct? Any doubt here? So I could say functions can be used for type conversions. Functions can be used for type conversions. I can convert any type of data based upon the functions. Okay? Any doubt? So all are pretty simple. And in the next class, we shall study about functions related to random numbers. This will be very interesting. We'll take one small example of gaming where the random numbers are used. The random numbers are generated using Python, and how it will be impacted on the gaming or an entertainment, pseudo-random numbers. Okay. So we shall take this as an example, and we shall see how the random number functions will be used. So just let me know if you have any doubts so far. And today I think by the end of the day I'll be updating with you people with an assignment, not exactly an assignment, and the activity assignment to the individual groups. So just try to carry out that assignment. It will be based upon the functions and the modules or the library packages. You have to search. You have to search Google to whatever the mode of a survey you want to do, but you have to come out with a solution for the question which will be given or assigned to your individual groups. Okay. So it might be related to an image related, or it might be related to an HTML page, or it might be related to functions related to an Excel, CSV data, or an XML data. It can be related to any data. I want you people to put some effort to import some functions and read a particular data. Either it might be a video, image, HTML, XML, CSV, Excel, Notepad, Word document, or whatever it is. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you for attending this session. Take care. Stay home. Stay safe. All the best.